Jake Morrison crouched behind the broken concrete wall and watched the alien patrol move through the empty street. 3 months had passed since the ships first appeared in the sky above Denver. 3 months since everything changed forever. The creatures inside those silver suits looked nothing like humans. They were tall and thin with skin that seemed to shine like glass. Their weapons made no sound when they fired but could melt steel in seconds. The radio crackled softly in his ear. Amy Rodriguez whispered from her position across the street. 5 targets moving east toward the old gas station, 2 more coming from behind the burned car. Jake counted 7 aliens total, too many for a direct fight. He and his team of 12 fighters had learned the hard way that meeting these invaders head-on meant death. The aliens were faster and stronger than any human. Their technology was hundreds of years ahead of anything Earth had ever built. But Jake had discovered something important over these long months. The aliens expected humans to fight like soldiers, in neat lines and formations. They did not expect humans to hide in sewers and attack from behind. Dr. Lisa Barnes worked in the underground laboratory beneath the old subway station. She had been studying pieces of alien equipment for 2 months. Now, the metal was unlike anything she had ever seen. It seemed to repair itself when damaged and grew stronger under heat. But Lisa had found something interesting. When she played certain sounds near the alien metal, it became weak and brittle. "Kevin, come look at this," she called to her partner, Dr. Kevin Hart. He walked over to her workbench where she had placed a small piece of alien armor. Lisa turned on a speaker and played a high-pitched sound. The metal began to shake and crack. "I think we found their weakness." Kevin stared at the cracking metal. "How did you figure this out?" "By accident. I was playing music while working and noticed the alien devices acting strange. It took me weeks to find the right frequency, but look at this." Lisa increased the volume. The alien metal split apart completely. "We need to tell Jake about this right away." Above ground, Jake led his team through the ruined city. They moved from building to building using the underground tunnels that connected most of downtown Denver. The aliens had destroyed the surface, but they seemed afraid to go underground. Jake thought this was strange for such an advanced species, but he was thankful for any advantage. Captain Amy Rodriguez had been a police officer before the invasion. Now she commanded 30 fighters in the Eastern District. She had learned to make weapons from household items mixed with salvaged alien parts. Her latest creation was a device that sent out electromagnetic pulses. When activated near alien equipment, it caused their weapons to shut down for several minutes. "The trick is timing," Amy explained to her new recruits. "You get one chance to disable their weapons. After that, you better be ready to fight hand-to-hand or run very fast." One of the new fighters, a young man named Tony Blake, raised his hand. "What about their armor? How do we hurt them if we cannot shoot through it?" Amy smiled grimly. "Their armor protects them from energy weapons and bullets, but it does not protect them from falling buildings or sharp metal spikes driven into the joints. We fight dirty because clean fighting gets you killed." Meanwhile, in the hidden command center, Jake received Lisa's report about the sound weapon. He immediately understood what this could mean. "Lisa, how big would we need to make these sound devices to affect a large area?" "Give me 2 weeks and enough car batteries and I can build something that covers 6 city blocks," Lisa replied through the radio. Jake looked at the map of Denver spread across his table. Red marks showed where alien patrols traveled most often. Blue marks showed human safe zones. There were far more red marks than blue ones. 2 weeks might be too long. Our scouts report more alien ships arriving every day. Dr. Hart interrupted from his monitoring station. "Jake, you need to hear this. I have been listening to alien radio signals. They are not just talking to each other. They are talking to ships in space. Big ships." Jake felt cold fear run through his body. "How many ships?" "At least 50 in orbit around Earth. And they are bringing more aliens down every day. It sounds like they are preparing for something big." Across town, Maya Foster worked in her garage laboratory. Before the invasion, she had been an electrical engineer. Now she built weapons and communication devices for the resistance. Her latest project was a radio system that could not be detected by alien scanners. She had tested it by sending messages between resistance cells in different cities. The responses had given her hope. New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, and dozens of other cities all reported active resistance movements. Humans everywhere were fighting back. More importantly, they were learning to work together in ways the aliens had not expected. Maya's radio crackled with an incoming message from Colonel Ryan Hayes in Washington. All cells report successful ambush operations. Enemy patrol losses increasing. They are changing their movement patterns. This was important news. If the aliens were changing tactics, it meant human attacks were working. Maya quickly coded the message and sent it to Jake's command center. That evening, Jake met with his team leaders in the subway tunnel. Amy brought reports from the eastern districts. Tony Blake had become a specialist in urban warfare and reported from the industrial zone. Lisa and Kevin shared their findings about alien weaknesses. We have learned much, Jake told the group, but we are still vastly outnumbered. Every day brings more of them and fewer of us. Dr. Nicole Green, who had joined them 2 weeks ago, spoke up. Maybe we are thinking about this wrong. We keep trying to match their numbers or their technology, but what if our advantage is not in those things? Jake looked at her with interest. What do you mean? They are fighting a war they have fought many times before against many different species. They expect certain responses. They have plans for every normal military tactic. But humans are not normal. We are unpredictable. We use emotion and creativity in ways that might confuse them. Amy nodded slowly. She is right. Every alien patrol follows the same patterns. They never change unless we force them to change. It is like they cannot think of new ideas on their own. Jake studied the faces around him. These people had survived 3 months of hell. They had lost friends and family. They had seen their world burned and broken. But they had not given up. They had adapted and learned and grown stronger. Then we give them something they have never seen before, Jake said quietly. We show them what humans do when their backs are against the wall. 6 months had passed since the silver ships first darkened Earth's skies. Sergeant Tony Blake moved through the ruins of downtown like a ghost. The aliens had learned to fear the shadows where humans hid. What had started as an easy conquest had become a nightmare that cost them soldiers every day. The Zephyrians, as Dr. Lisa Barnes had named them after studying their language, no longer moved in small groups. They traveled in units of 20 or more, always watching the buildings around them. But larger groups moved slower and made more noise. Tony had learned to use this against them. He pressed his back against the broken wall and counted the alien patrol passing below. 22 soldiers in their shining armor, weapons ready, scanning every window and doorway. They moved like they expected attack from any direction. Tony smiled grimly. They were right to be afraid. His radio buzzed softly. Maya Foster's voice came through the earpiece. Package delivered to position 3, ready for fireworks. Tony looked across the street where Amy Rodriguez waited with her team. She held up 5 fingers, then made a fist. 5 minutes until the trap closed. The aliens walked directly into the kill zone, following the same route they used every day at the same time. Humans had learned their patterns months ago. The Zephyrians thought their advanced technology made them superior warriors. They relied on their energy shields and powerful weapons. But technology meant nothing when the entire city became a weapon against them. Every building held surprises. Every street corner hid death. Maya's electromagnetic pulse device activated. First, the alien weapons shut down instantly. Their energy shields flickered and died. For 30 seconds, the most advanced soldiers in the galaxy became helpless targets in an urban shooting gallery. Tony and his fighters opened fire from 6 different buildings, not with bullets, which barely scratched alien armor, but with Lisa's sonic weapons. The high-pitched sounds made the Zephyrian armor crack and split. The aliens stumbled and fell as their protective suits failed. Amy's team dropped nets made from razor wire onto the confused aliens. Others threw bottles filled with industrial acid that ate through damaged armor. Within 2 minutes, 22 alien soldiers lay dead in the street. The humans had lost no one. Tony spoke into his radio. Street sweep complete, moving to secondary position. In her underground laboratory, Dr. Lisa Barnes studied the latest batch of captured alien technology. Each victory brought new equipment to examine. She had learned that Zephyrian devices worked by manipulating energy in ways humans had never imagined. But every piece of technology had weaknesses. Dr. Kevin Hart burst through the lab door carrying a damaged alien communication device. "Lisa, look at this. I pulled it from their command vehicle before it exploded." Lisa connected the device to her computers and began downloading its memory. What she found made her heart race with excitement. "Kevin, this contains their entire tactical database, battle plans, unit positions, supply routes, everything." "How is that possible?" Kevin asked. "I think they never considered that humans might capture their equipment intact. They built no security systems to prevent access." Lisa scrolled through files containing detailed maps of alien positions throughout North America. "They have been treating us like primitive animals. They never thought we could use their own technology against them." Meanwhile, Colonel Ryan Hayes coordinated resistance activities from a hidden bunker in the Rocky Mountains. Reports came in every hour from cells across the continent. The aliens were losing ground everywhere. More importantly, they were beginning to panic. "Phoenix reports successful raid on alien supply depot," his communications officer announced. "Seattle destroyed 3 transport ships. Miami eliminated an entire patrol base." Ryan studied the tactical map on his wall. Red pins marked alien positions while blue pins showed human victories. 6 months ago, the map had been mostly red. Now blue pins covered half the continent. The tide was turning. His radio crackled with a priority message from Jake Morrison in Denver. "Ryan, we have a problem. Our intercepts show the aliens are calling for reinforcements from their home fleet." Ryan felt his blood run cold. "How many ships?" "Unknown." But the message was marked as urgent priority. "I think they are finally realizing they bit off more than they can chew." Dr. Nicole Green worked with a team of linguists to decode alien communications. What they learned painted a picture of an enemy in crisis. The Zephyrians had conquered dozens of worlds using the same basic strategy. Overwhelming technological superiority followed by quick surrender from the native population, but humans refused to follow the script. Every world the aliens had conquered before had given up after losing their major cities and military forces. Humans just scattered into smaller groups and kept fighting. The Zephyrians had no experience dealing with an enemy that grew stronger after defeat. Nicole listened to intercepted alien communications and translated them for Jake's command team. "They keep using the same word over and over. It translates, roughly, to impossible or does not compute. They cannot understand why we have not surrendered." Amy Rodriguez had become an expert in alien psychology through months of combat. "They are afraid," she told her fighters during their evening briefing. "You can see it in how they move. They jump at shadows. They fire at anything that makes noise. Fear makes them sloppy." Her newest recruit, a former construction worker named Carl Johnson, raised his hand. "How do we use their fear against them?" "By being unpredictable," Amy replied. "They expect us to attack at dawn or dusk, so we attack at noon. They expect us to run when outnumbered, so we charge straight at them. They expect us to value our own lives above victory, so we show them humans who fight like cornered animals." Engineer Maya Foster had been working around the clock to improve human weapons and communication systems. Her latest creation combined alien technology with human engineering in ways the original designers never intended. The hybrid devices were more powerful than anything either species had built alone. She demonstrated her newest weapon to Tony, Blake, and his urban warfare specialists. The device looked like a normal human rifle but fired concentrated sonic bursts that could shatter alien armor at 50 yards. "The aliens built the power source. We built the focusing system. Together they make something neither species could create alone." Tony examined the weapon carefully. "How many can you build?" "Give me 2 weeks and enough salvaged alien parts, I can equip every fighter in Denver." That night, Jake Morrison stood on the roof of a ruined building and looked out over his city. 6 months ago, Denver had been a thriving metropolis of 2 million people. Now it was a graveyard where humans and aliens fought among the bones of civilization. But something had changed in recent weeks. The aliens no longer controlled the streets during daylight. They moved in large groups and avoided certain areas entirely. Human patrols moved openly through neighborhoods that had been alien territory just months before. His radio buzzed with reports from across the region. Aurora eliminated an alien communication station. Boulder destroyed a supply convoy. Colorado Springs captured an intact alien vehicle with its crew alive. Jake smiled as he listened to the reports. The hunters had become the hunted. The Zephyrians came to Earth expecting easy conquest of a primitive world. Instead, they found themselves fighting an enemy that learned from every defeat, adapted to every new situation, and refused to accept surrender as an option. In the distance, Jake could see the lights of alien ships in orbit. They were bringing reinforcements, but Jake was no longer worried. Every new alien soldier that came to Earth would learn the same lesson their predecessors had learned. Humans did not fight wars the way other species fought wars. Humans fought wars the way humans fought everything, with creativity, determination, and a stubborn refusal to admit defeat, even when defeat seemed certain. The aliens had made a terrible mistake when they chose Earth as their target. They were about to learn just how terrible that mistake truly was. 1 year after the invasion began, Major Alex Turner stood in the command center beneath Cheyenne Mountain and watched as humanity prepared to strike back. The resistance had grown from scattered groups of survivors into a coordinated fighting force that spanned the globe. Today they would show the Zephyrians what happened when humans stopped running and started hunting. Operation Resonance had taken 6 months to plan and prepare. Dr. Lisa Barnes and her team had built sonic weapons, powerful enough to affect entire city blocks. Maya Foster had created communication networks that could coordinate attacks across multiple time zones. Colonel Ryan Hayes had united resistance cells from dozens of countries into a single fighting force. Alex checked his watch. In 30 minutes, every major alien stronghold on Earth would face simultaneous attack. The Zephyrians would learn that humans had been studying them, learning their weaknesses and preparing for this moment. Lieutenant Sophie Clark ran her final systems check in the cockpit of her captured alien fighter. 3 months ago, she had been a pilot in the Air National Guard flying outdated jets against impossible odds. Now she commanded a squadron of 12 hybrid fighters that combined alien technology with human engineering. The alien ship's controls had taken weeks to master. The Zephyrians used colors and sounds instead of buttons and switches. But once Sophie learned their system, she discovered that human reflexes and intuition made her a better pilot than any alien she had fought. Falcon leader to all units, Sophie spoke into her helmet radio. Operation Resonance begins in 20 minutes. Remember, we hit fast and hard, then disappear before they can respond. Her squadron consisted of former military pilots who had learned to fly alien technology better than the aliens themselves. Each fighter carried sonic weapons tuned to the specific frequency that shattered Zephyrian equipment. They would provide air support while ground teams attacked the major alien bases. Professor Carl Johnson worked frantically in his computer lab, racing against the clock to complete his part of the mission. 6 months ago, he had been teaching computer science at the University of Colorado. Now he led the team responsible for breaking into alien computer networks. The breakthrough had come when they realized that Zephyrian computers used the same basic logic as human systems, just with different languages and interfaces. Carl's team had created translation programs that could convert human commands into alien code and back again. "I'm in," Carl announced to his team. "We have access to their communication satellites. As soon as the attack begins, we can jam their calls for help." His partner, Dr. Eric Davis, looked up from his own workstation. "What about their ship-to-ship communications?" "Already handled. Maya's jammers will block everything within Earth's atmosphere. The moment we hit them, they become deaf, dumb, and blind." Above ground in Denver, Jake Morrison led 200 fighters toward the largest alien base in the region. The Zephyrians had built their command center in the ruins of the old airport, surrounding it with energy barriers and automated defense systems. For months, humans had avoided the heavily defended position. Today, they would destroy it completely. Amy Rodriguez moved her urban warfare specialist into position around the alien perimeter, Tony Blake commanded the assault teams that would breach the energy barriers. Dr. Nicole Green coordinated with other resistance cells to ensure perfect timing. Jake looked at his watch. 5 minutes until Operation Resonance began. Around the world, similar scenes played out as human fighters prepared to strike. London, Tokyo, Sydney, Moscow, Cairo, Johannesburg. Every major city where aliens had established strongholds would face coordinated attack. All units, this is Jake Morrison, he spoke into his radio. 1 year ago, these creatures came to our world thinking we would be easy prey. They thought our technology was primitive and our spirits were weak. Today we show them how wrong they always were. In her laboratory, Lisa Barnes activated the massive sonic generator she had built inside an abandoned warehouse. The device was the size of a small building and required enough electrical power to run a small city. But when activated, it would produce sound waves that could shatter alien technology for miles in every direction. Sonic weapon online and ready, Lisa reported to Alex Turner's command center. Target zone clear of human personnel. Similar weapons had been built near every major alien base on Earth. The aliens had never encountered sonic warfare before. Their armor and shields were designed to stop energy weapons and projectiles, not sound waves that could vibrate their crystalline bodies apart at the molecular level. The countdown reached 0. Alex Turner's voice echoed in radio headsets around the globe. All units, execute Operation Resonance. Show them what humans do when we stop playing defense. Lisa's sonic generator roared to life with a sound like 10,000 jet engines starting at once. The invisible wave of vibration swept across the alien base at the speed of sound. Zephyrian equipment began to shake apart. Their energy barriers flickered and died. Their weapons shut down as the crystalline components cracked under acoustic stress. Sophie Clark led her fighter squadron in a high-speed attack run on the alien air defenses. Her sonic cannons tore through enemy aircraft that had no protection against sound-based weapons. Within minutes, the aliens lost air superiority they had held for an entire year. Jake's ground assault teams poured through gaps in the failed energy barriers. The aliens tried to fight back, but their weapons would not function. Their communications were jammed. Their reinforcements could not reach them through the sonic bombardment. The battle for the Denver airport lasted 3 hours. When the smoke cleared, over 800 alien soldiers lay dead. The humans had lost 12 fighters. Jake stood in the alien command center, looking at computer screens filled with tactical information. Carl Johnson's voice came through the radio from his underground lab. Jake, you need to see this. The alien computers contain detailed information about their empire. Star maps, military strength, colony locations, everything. Send it to command immediately, Jake replied. What about their home fleet? That's the interesting part. According to these files, the invasion force was supposed to conquer Earth in 2 weeks and move on to their next target. They were never supposed to stay here for a year fighting guerrilla warfare. Around the world, similar victories played out. London's resistance destroyed the alien command center at Heathrow Airport. Tokyo eliminated 3 alien bases in simultaneous attacks. Sydney's fighters sank alien ships in the harbor using captured weapons. But the most important victory came from orbit itself. Sophie Clark and her expanded air fleet had captured enough alien technology to build spacecraft capable of reaching the enemy motherships. Human pilots, trained in alien fighter craft, launched the first attacks against Zephyrian vessels in space. The aliens found themselves under assault from an enemy they had dismissed as primitive animals. Human fighters appeared where no Earth-based weapons should be able to reach. Alien ships designed to bombard planets from safe distances suddenly faced attack from fast, small craft flown by pilots who had learned to use Zephyrian technology better than its creators. By the end of the day, humanity had achieved something unprecedented in Zephyrian military history. An invaded world had not only refused to surrender, but had begun winning the war against its conquerors. Alex Turner stood in his command center and studied reports from around the globe. Casualty reports, he called to his staff. Human losses are minimal across all theaters. Alien losses exceed 70% of their ground forces, his aide replied. We have captured over 200 intact vehicles and weapons systems. Alex nodded grimly. And their space fleet? Sophie Clark's voice came through the radio from her fighter cockpit high above Earth. Alien motherships are attempting to withdraw to higher orbit, but we're faster than they are now. Every ship that tries to run gets hunted down. For the first time in a year, Alex allowed himself to feel hope. Humanity had been backed against the wall by an enemy with superior technology and numbers. But humans had done what humans always did when faced with impossible odds. They had learned, adapted, and found ways to turn their weaknesses into strengths. The Zephyrians had made a fatal error when they chose Earth as their target. They had awakened something they did not understand and could not control. They had started a war with a species that refused to accept defeat as an option. Now they would learn the price of that mistake. 18 months after the failed invasion began, Captain Derek Sullivan watched alien escape pods streak across the morning sky like falling stars. The Zephyrians were running. After a year and a half of brutal warfare, the supposedly superior alien force had finally accepted what every human fighter had known from the beginning. They could not win this war. Derek commanded the newly formed Human Space Defense Force from the bridge of a captured alien mothership that human engineers had renamed Liberty. The massive vessel had been taken during Operation Resonance and converted into humanity's first orbital command center. Now it served as the flagship for hunting down fleeing alien forces. Contact bearing 27 Mark IV, reported Lieutenant Grace Mitchell from her sensor station. 3 alien fighters attempting to reach the outer system. Derek smiled coldly. Intercept and destroy. No survivors. Grace had been an electronics engineer before the war. Now she operated weapon systems that could vaporize enemy ships from thousands of miles away. Her fingers danced across alien controls, with the skill of someone who had spent months learning to use Zephyrian technology better than the Zephyrians themselves. The alien fighters never stood a chance. Human pilots flying hybrid spacecraft caught them before they could escape Earth's gravity well. Within minutes, 3 more alien ships joined the growing debris field that surrounded the planet. Admiral Linda Thompson coordinated the systematic hunting of alien forces from her command center in the renovated NORAD facility. Wall-mounted displays showed the positions of every remaining alien vessel within the solar system. Red dots marked enemy contacts while blue dots represented human ships in pursuit. Status report, Linda called to her operations staff. Sector 7 reports elimination of alien supply convoy. Sector 12 destroyed enemy communication relay. Sector 3 captured intact alien transport with full crew. Came the replies from around the command center. Linda studied the tactical display with satisfaction. 18 months ago, the screen would have been filled with red enemy contacts, and only a few scattered blue human positions. Now the colors were reversed. Humanity controlled Earth's orbital space while alien forces ran for their lives toward the outer planets. Dr. Eric Davis led the interrogation teams that questioned captured alien soldiers. What he learned painted a picture of an enemy in complete psychological collapse. The Zephyrians had conquered 47 worlds using the same basic strategy. Overwhelming initial assault followed by quick surrender from the native population. But humans had shattered that pattern completely. Not only had Earth's population refused to surrender, they had absorbed alien technology and turned it into weapons more effective than anything the Zephyrians had ever faced. They keep asking how we learned to use their equipment so quickly, Eric reported to Admiral Thompson. I think they genuinely cannot understand how we reverse engineered their technology in months when it took their species centuries to develop. What do you tell them? Linda asked. The truth. That humans learn by doing, not by following instruction manuals. We take things apart to see how they work, then we build them better. Engineer Maya Foster had become humanity's leading expert on alien technology fusion. Her workshops produced hybrid devices that combined the best features of human engineering with Zephyrian energy systems. Her latest creation was a faster-than-light communication jammer that prevented alien ships from sending distress signals to their home fleet. The beauty of this system, Maya explained to a group of human ship commanders, is that it uses their own communication protocols against them. Every time they try to send a message to their home fleet, our jammers intercept it and send false, Information instead. Commander Scott Williams, who had been a Navy pilot before learning to fly captured alien spacecraft, raised his hand. What kind of false information? Everything is proceeding according to plan. Earth will be conquered within the projected time frame. No assistance required. Maya grinned. As far as their home fleet knows, the invasion is going perfectly. This deception had been running for 6 months now. The Zephyrian Empire believed their invasion force was still fighting to conquer a primitive world. They had no idea that their supposedly inferior enemy had not only defeated the invasion, but was now hunting down every alien survivor with methodical efficiency. Captain Amy Rodriguez had transitioned from urban warfare to space combat, commanding a squadron of fighters converted from captured alien technology. Her pilots were former resistance members who had learned to fight in the ruins of Earth's cities. Now they applied the same guerrilla tactics to warfare in the vacuum of space. Remember, we are not trying to fight fair, Amy told her pilots during their mission briefing. We are trying to make sure none of these bastards ever make it home to report what really happened here. Her squadron specialized in hunting alien escape pods and small craft trying to flee toward the outer solar system. They used the same hit-and-run tactics that had worked so well in urban combat. Strike fast, destroy the target, and disappear before enemy reinforcements could respond. Tony Blake had become an expert in boarding actions against alien vessels. His teams used modified spacesuits and sonic weapons to capture enemy ships with their crews alive. The intelligence gathered from these operations provided crucial information about Zephyrian military capabilities and star charts. The key is speed and surprise, Tony explained to his assault specialists. Alien ships are designed to fight other spacecraft, not boarding parties. Once we get inside, their advantages disappear. His latest raid had captured a Zephyrian intelligence vessel, containing detailed maps of their empire's military installations. The information revealed defensive positions, fleet movements, and colony locations throughout Zephyrian space. Professor Carl Johnson had expanded his computer warfare operations to include cyber attacks on alien vessels throughout the solar system. His programs could infiltrate Zephyrian computer networks and take control of their ships remotely. We can turn their own vessels against them, Carl reported to Admiral Thompson. Last week we took control of 3 alien fighters and used them to attack their own mothership. The psychological impact of such attacks was devastating to alien morale. Zephyrian soldiers found themselves under fire from their own technology, operated by human hackers millions of miles away. Dr. Nicole Green continued her analysis of alien communications and discovered something troubling. They are starting to suspect that something has gone wrong with the invasion, she reported to the command staff. Recent transmissions show increased concern from their home fleet about the lack of routine status reports. Derek Sullivan looked up from his tactical displays. How long before they figure out what really happened? Maybe 6 months, maybe less if they send a scout ship to investigate. Admiral Thompson made a decision that would change the course of the war. Then we need to make sure no Zephyrian ever leaves this solar system alive. Total information containment. The Empire cannot learn what happened here until we are ready to take the fight to them. This order began the final phase of alien elimination. Human forces systematically hunted down every remaining Zephyrian in Earth's solar system. No escape pods reached the outer planets. No distress signals made it past human communication jammers. No alien witnesses survived to report humanity's true capabilities. Jake Morrison, now promoted to general, coordinated ground operations to eliminate the last alien holdouts on Earth's surface. His fighters had become experts at urban warfare, and now they applied those skills to hunting alien survivors hiding in remote locations. We have confirmed alien presence in the Canadian Rockies, Jake reported during a strategy meeting. Small group, maybe 20 soldiers trying to build a long-range transmitter. Eliminate them, Admiral Thompson ordered. No exceptions. The hunt for the last aliens took 3 more months. Human forces checked every cave, every abandoned building, every possible hiding place where Zephyrian survivors might lurk. They used alien technology to scan for alien life signs and alien equipment signatures. When the search ended, Earth's solar system contained no living Zephyrians. The invasion force that had arrived 18 months earlier with plans to conquer a primitive world had been completely destroyed. Not one alien soldier would return home to warn their empire about humanity's true nature. Admiral Thompson stood on the bridge of the Liberty and looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, the Zephyrian Empire waited in ignorance, believing their invasion of Earth was proceeding according to plan. They had no idea that their target world had not only survived but had absorbed their technology and turned it into weapons of unimaginable power. Soon, humanity would carry the war to them. The hunters would become the hunted on a galactic scale. The Zephyrians had made the mistake of attacking Earth. Now they would learn what happened to species who threatened the survival of the human race. The war was far from over. It was just moving to a new battlefield among the stars. 2 years after the invasion began, General Patricia Nelson stood in the rebuilt Pentagon and studied star charts that showed the locations of 47 Zephyrian colony worlds. The maps had been taken from captured alien computers and verified through months of interrogation. Each world represented a target in humanity's expanding war against the species that had dared to invade Earth. Not a single Zephyrian remained alive in Earth's solar system. The last alien holdouts had been eliminated 6 months ago in a cave system beneath the Sahara Desert. Their long-range transmitter had been destroyed minutes before it could send a warning signal to the Zephyrian home fleet. Patricia reviewed the daily intelligence reports from human scouts now operating throughout the galaxy. Commander Scott Williams led the first expedition beyond Earth's solar system in ships built from captured alien technology, enhanced with human engineering. His mission was simple, but crucial: deliver a message to the Zephyrian Empire. Status. Report from Alpha Team. Patricia called to her communications officer. Commander Williams report successful penetration of Zephyrian border territory. No enemy contact. Message package ready for delivery. The message was elegantly simple. It contained complete records of the failed Earth invasion, detailed technical specifications of humanity's new weapons, and star charts showing the locations of every Zephyrian military installation their computers had revealed. Most importantly, it carried a promise. Earth remembered every attack against humanity, and Earth always collected its debts. Dr. Rachel Evans had been promoted to head the new Department of Xenological Warfare, a division dedicated to studying alien species and developing countermeasures for future conflicts. Her research showed that humans possessed unique advantages no other known species had demonstrated. We adapt faster than any species the Zephyrians have encountered, Rachel explained to a gathering of military commanders. While they were trying to conquer us using tactics that worked on 47 other worlds, we were learning to use their own technology better than they could. Her department had analyzed captured records from every world the Zephyrians had conquered. The pattern was always the same: initial devastating attack, followed by surrender within weeks. Native populations either fled to hiding or submitted to alien rule. None had ever mounted effective resistance. Humans had shattered that pattern completely. Not only had Earth's population refused to surrender, they had turned the invasion into a learning opportunity. Every captured weapon became a template for improvement. Every prisoner provided intelligence about alien weaknesses. Every defeated patrol taught humanity new tactics. Captain Julie Peters commanded the advanced scout fleet that carried humanity's message towards Zephyrian space. Her ships were marvels of hybrid engineering that combined alien, faster-than-light drives with human weapon systems and defensive technology. Julie had been a commercial airline pilot before the war. Now she commanded vessels that could travel between stars and carried firepower sufficient to destroy entire fleets. The transformation of humanity's technological capabilities in just 2 years was unprecedented in galactic history. Long range. Sensors detect Zephyrian patrol vessels, reported her navigation officer. They are maintaining standard patrol patterns. No indication they suspect anything unusual. Julie smiled grimly. The alien patrols were looking for threats from other established spacefaring civilizations. They were not watching for ships from a world they believed they had successfully conquered. Maintain course. Execute message delivery on schedule. Meanwhile, On Earth, Maya Foster supervised the construction of humanity's first interstellar fleet. The shipyards orbiting Earth worked around the clock building vessels designed for warfare on a galactic scale. Each ship incorporated lessons learned from 2 years of fighting Zephyrian forces. The aliens built their technology for intimidation and overwhelming force, Maya explained to a group of human engineers. They never expected to fight an enemy that could match their capabilities. Our ships are designed specifically to hunt and destroy Zephyrian vessels. The human fleet growing in Earth's orbital shipyards represented something new in galactic warfare. These were not ships built to conquer and occupy territory. They were weapons designed to eliminate threats to human survival with maximum efficiency. Admiral Linda Thompson coordinated humanity's expansion into interstellar space from her command center on the Liberty. Wall displays showed the positions of human scout fleets throughout local stellar regions. Red indicators marked known Zephyrian positions, while blue showed areas under human surveillance. Intelligence reports from deep reconnaissance, Linda announced to her staff. The Zephyrians have no knowledge of our true capabilities. They still believe Earth was conquered according to their original timeline. This intelligence blackout had been maintained for over a year through careful elimination of all Zephyrian witnesses and systematic jamming of their communication networks. As far as the alien empire knew, their invasion force was still fighting to complete Earth's conquest. Dr. Eric Davis had perfected interrogation techniques that extracted maximum intelligence from captured aliens while providing false information to maintain the deception. His work revealed the psychological weaknesses that made Zephyrians vulnerable to human tactics. They are hive-minded in their thinking, Eric explained to Patricia Nelson. When faced with unexpected situations, they cannot adapt quickly. They follow established procedures even when those procedures lead to disaster. This inflexibility had been humanity's greatest advantage during the invasion. While humans constantly changed tactics and strategies, the aliens kept using the same approaches that had worked on other worlds. They could not understand why these proven methods failed against human resistance. Tony Blake commanded the Special Operations Division responsible for deep penetration missions into Zephyrian territory. His teams used captured alien ships and equipment to conduct reconnaissance missions that mapped enemy defenses throughout their empire. We have identified 17 critical choke points in their supply lines, Tony reported during a strategic planning session. If we hit these targets, simultaneously, we can cripple their ability to coordinate defensive responses. His intelligence teams had spent months studying Zephyrian military organization and identifying weaknesses that could be exploited. The aliens had built their empire assuming they would always face inferior opponents. Their defensive systems were not designed to resist attack from forces using their own technology. Commander Scott Williams reached the edge of Zephyrian space and prepared to deliver humanity's message. His ship dropped out of faster-than-light travel near a major alien military base and immediately began broadcasting on all Zephyrian communication frequencies. The message was transmitted in perfect Zephyrian language using their own communication protocols. It contained video recordings of Earth cities rebuilt and thriving, images of human fleets constructed from captured alien technology, star charts showing the positions of every Zephyrian military installation. Most importantly, it carried humanity's declaration of intent. Earth had not been conquered. Earth would never be conquered. Any species that threatened human survival would face complete destruction. The reaction from Zephyrian command centers was immediate and terrifying. Within hours, emergency broadcasts flooded their communication networks as the truth about the failed Earth invasion became clear. Their supposedly primitive enemy had not only survived, but had grown strong enough to threaten the Empire itself. Jake Morrison, now serving as Earth's military intelligence coordinator, monitored alien communications as news of the failed invasion spread throughout Zephyrian space. The psychological impact was devastating to alien morale. They are pulling back from border positions, Jake reported to the Pentagon command staff. Fleet movements suggest they are consolidating defenses around their core worlds. This defensive reaction was exactly what human strategists had hoped for. By revealing their capabilities gradually, humanity had triggered a psychological collapse that would make the coming war much easier to win. Dr. Nicole Green continued her analysis of Zephyrian communications and discovered something remarkable. They are evacuating frontier colonies and abandoning expansion plans. The entire empire is shifting to defensive posture. This was unprecedented in Zephyrian history. For over 1,000 years, they had been an expanding empire that conquered new worlds every few decades. Now, faced with evidence that their latest target had turned into their greatest threat, they were retreating for the first time in their civilization's memory. General Patricia Nelson made the final decision that would determine the future of both species. Begin Phase 2 operations. Hunt down and eliminate every Zephyrian military installation within 50 light-years of Earth. Show them what happens when someone threatens humanity's survival. The human fleet launched from Earth's orbital shipyards like avenging angels carrying death to those who had dared to attack their homeworld. Each ship was crewed by veterans of the Resistance who had learned to fight impossible odds and win through determination, creativity, and absolute refusal to accept defeat.